In the dark reaches of space, an armada like no other advanced toward Earth's orbit. The Galactic Armada, a coalition of the galaxy's most advanced civilizations, had spent centuries subjugating and eradicating other races. Their weapons were honed to a science, their tactics perfected through endless conquest. As they closed in on the Sol system, the alien commanders barely concealed their boredom. Earth was just another world, another conquest in their long campaign. Word had spread that humanity was resilient, stubborn even, but the aliens laughed at the thought of any meaningful resistance. With technology they considered archaic, humanity seemed to them a species merely playing at war. The lead commander, a cold-eyed Valorian, observed Earth through the vast screens aboard his ship, the Viwaralok, his gaze calculating yet dismissive. His fellow officers relayed reports of human defenses, small clusters of ships, orbital defense platforms that paled against the Armada's firepower. A few early exchanges between human and alien vessels had already proven the humans' inadequacy. The alien ships, massive and glinting with advanced alloys, made Earth's hastily constructed crafts look almost primitive by comparison. With contempt, the Valorian commander observed these primitive vessels, noting the outdated propulsion systems, the clunky weaponry. He scoffed as humanity's fleet attempted a last-ditch formation to protect the planet. Yet, as the Armada closed in, Earth's defenders held their ground. While their ships were meager in comparison, their tactics showed a level of discipline that hadn't been seen in countless conquests. The humans weren't fleeing, they stood firm, maneuvering and firing in synchronized waves that, while less effective, showed strategic sophistication. Alien generals watched with mild surprise. Humans fought with tenacity, pressing forward with stubborn precision, their formations holding despite the inevitable losses. Even as human vessels were torn apart by advanced plasma beams, those who remained filled the gaps, pressing forward. Some alien captains muttered to themselves about the sheer grit of the humans, but the respect was tinged with mocking amusement. All of this, just to delay the inevitable. The Galactic Armada's fleet was unstoppable, a war machine forged through the millennia. Their flagship alone dwarfed Earth's largest vessels, its dark metal hull adorned with the symbols of countless conquered worlds. Weapons on these vessels were powered by antimatter cores, capable of firing beams that could cut through asteroids like a knife through paper. Meanwhile, the human fleet relied on weapons the aliens dismissed as little more than relics, kinetic projectiles, outdated missiles. How could such a fleet hope to face the might of a galactic coalition? But still, they fought on, defying the logical outcome. An alien officer sneered as he watched the humans engage, muttering in his native tongue about humanity's apparent lack of understanding. The aliens saw these actions as a futile waste, a species unwilling to face the harsh truth of their own extinction. One officer remarked to his commander that humanity seemed to cling to hope in the face of annihilation, and the commander, barely hiding his smirk, responded that perhaps it was some primitive survival instinct. Earth was doomed, yet humanity continued to fight, clawing for every inch of space with a tenacity the Armada had long since forgotten. As the alien fleet tightened its noose, they could already envision their victory celebrations. Just as the Galactic Armada prepared to launch its final assault, a signal echoed through the void, unlike anything the aliens had anticipated. It emerged from beyond the asteroid belt, massive and deliberate, disrupting the Armada's communications and sensor arrays. Alien officers exchanged bewildered glances as their screens flared with warnings. The Armada's sensors finally recalibrated, focusing on a single blip in the distance that grew larger, then multiplied, until it was clear that a fleet, human in origin, had been concealed there all along. One by one, the colossal ships slipped from their cloaked positions, monolithic shadows resolving into detail under the Armada's scrutiny. They were unlike anything humanity had fielded thus far. These ships, humanity's dreadnoughts, were ominous hulks of black metal, crafted with an alien-like precision that seemed to absorb light itself. Their jagged hulls had no visible insignia, no identifying marks. Only their purpose spoke through their design, pure, unyielding destruction. The alien command bridge went silent as they stared at the sheer scale of the dreadnoughts. These ships dwarfed even the Armada's mightiest vessels, armored with a reinforced plating that defied the scans of alien sensors. These weren't the hastily built, utilitarian ships they'd seen so far. No, these dreadnoughts were purpose-built behemoths, crafted not merely to defend but to utterly devastate any who dared approach Earth. An eerie sense of foreboding seeped into the alien ranks. How had humanity kept something like this hidden? As dreadnoughts advanced, their weaponry was unveiled. Energy cannons pulsed to life along their hulls, giving off a strange, ominous glow. This was no mere laser or plasma weapon, the readings were off the charts, something experimental and utterly foreign even to the Armada's technology. The first volley erupted, a blinding cascade of energy that struck with pinpoint precision. Alien ships scrambled, struggling to mount defenses, but the dreadnoughts' attacks sliced through shields, leaving gaping, molten wounds across the Armada's battleships. A seasoned alien commander watched in horror as one of their own vessels, a carrier twice the size of Earth's largest ship, took a direct hit. The dreadnought's energy cannon punched through its hull, setting off a catastrophic explosion that rippled through the surrounding fleet. Shock turned to panic as more dreadnoughts joined the fray, their targeting systems effortlessly tracking the Armada's maneuvers. Every ship lost left the alien commanders more bewildered. How had Earth developed such weapons, ones that could match, even surpass, the technology of the most advanced species in the galaxy? On board the Viralok, the Valorian commander's cold confidence began to waver. He realized, with a sinking dread, that humanity had deliberately held these warships back. This wasn't a last-minute reveal born of desperation. It was a calculated move, a trap laid with a patience and foresight that caught the entire Armada off guard. Humanity had anticipated this moment, waiting for the Armada to expose its full force before unleashing its own. The dreadnoughts continued to push forward, maneuvering with a nimbleness unexpected in ships so massive. Their weaponry shifted, revealing yet another layer of Earth's experimental technology. Projectile launchers began to fire advanced kinetic rounds, their impacts resonating with brutal effectiveness as they tore into the Armada's lighter crafts. Some ships attempted evasive maneuvers, but the dreadnoughts adapted, tracking them with an almost preternatural precision. Alien commanders, seasoned in countless battles, began to falter, watching as their well-practiced tactics disintegrated against humanity's brutal efficiency. The Armada had underestimated humanity, assuming Earth's technology was an inferior imitation of galactic warfare. But Earth had prepared its own weapons, forged in secrecy and designed to prey on the complacency of their attackers. The dreadnoughts, equipped with shielding technology that absorbed or deflected the aliens' own beams, stood resilient, pressing ever forward. Earth's counterattack was not merely a defense, it was a calculated, ruthless push, stripping the Galactic Armada of its advantage. One alien officer, barely able to mask his disbelief, whispered to his superior, wondering if Earth had reverse-engineered alien tech to build these monstrosities. But the truth was more chilling. Humanity had developed these weapons through sheer innovation, pulling on every ounce of knowledge and grit to build warships that could stand toe-to-toe with the galaxy's greatest force. The dreadnoughts advanced, each pulse of their cannons a reminder that humanity, though young on the cosmic stage, was willing to fight with a determination that bordered on defiance. The Armada's plans were unraveling, their carefully constructed strategies falling apart under the relentless assault. The once-bored commanders now scrambled to reconfigure their defenses, their arrogance fading as the terrifying scope of humanity's power dawned on them. These dreadnoughts weren't just ships, they were Earth's declaration to the galaxy, a warning that this world would not fall easily. As the battle raged on, the alien officers knew one thing for certain: the humans had taken their measure, studied them, and used that knowledge to craft the perfect weapon. The Galactic Armada had come expecting an easy victory, but they were about to learn that Earth's hidden strength was only just beginning to unfold. The first exchange between Earth's dreadnoughts and the alien warships revealed the Armada's vulnerability in a way no one had anticipated. Alien vessels, for all their technological superiority, struggled to break through the adaptive shielding of the dreadnoughts. Each time an alien beam struck, the shields adjusted, redistributing the energy, minimizing impact. Alien commanders watched in frustration as each attack grew less effective. Meanwhile, humanity's cannons tore through enemy hulls with devastating precision. The Dreadnoughts seemed to anticipate every move, countering each strategy with calculated force, leaving alien warships battered and faltering. In the chaos, humanity employed tactics that alien forces hadn't seen in millennia. The Dreadnoughts moved with a relentless purpose, but it was the smaller ships and cruisers that wove a complex web, drawing enemy ships into the line of fire and baiting them into ambushes. Human pilots executed precision maneuvers, dodging enemy fire with a combination of skill and sheer audacity, luring alien squadrons into prepared traps. Battles that should have favored the Armada soon turned in humanity's favor, and it became clear these tactics weren't improvised. Each maneuver was deliberate, each sacrifice calculated. Alien units began to fragment under the pressure. Tactical orders grew frantic as alien commanders tried to adjust to the unpredictable strategies. Ships that once charged with confidence now hesitated, fearing unseen dangers lurking behind every engagement. Amidst the confusion, human forces pressed harder, seizing control over skirmishes and destabilizing entire formations. Some alien captains, veterans of 1,000 battles, began to feel a creeping panic as they realized the depth of humanity's resolve. This wasn't the desperate defense they had expected. It was a coordinated assault, relentless and unyielding. The Dreadnoughts advanced like phantoms of Earth's wrath, cutting through alien ranks, leaving trails of smoldering debris in their wake. Earth's ships pushed through the lines with a grim determination, every inch gained serving as a testament to humanity's resilience. Alien forces that once mocked humanity's primitive technology now realized they had vastly underestimated what a species with nothing to lose could achieve. Some tried to regroup, to rally, but each time, humanity adapted, countering with brutal efficiency. The tide had turned, and the Galactic Armada was beginning to lose ground. Alien generals, once so certain of their victory, looked on in horror. They had assumed Earth would fall quickly, that humanity would collapse under pressure. But humanity's strength lay in its willingness to endure, to suffer loss if it meant gaining ground. Every ship lost only fueled their determination. Alien forces watched, helpless, as their own lines buckled, and for the first time, they felt the weight of their miscalculation. They had underestimated Earth, but the realization came too late. With each passing hour, the Armada's forces fractured further, their confidence broken. Alien ships fell back, abandoning their positions, desperate to regroup. But the Dreadnoughts gave them no reprieve, pressing deeper, seizing momentum with unyielding precision. What was once a victory in the making now became a desperate struggle for survival. Humanity had turned the battle, showing the galaxy that Earth was not only a force to be reckoned with but a species that thrived in the face of impossible odds. As the battle raged on, alien commanders grew desperate, searching for any explanation for humanity's strength. To them, humans had been an enigma, an isolated species on a relatively obscure planet. But as their ships were picked apart by Earth's relentless fleet, one alien general, an old strategist who had studied civilizations across the stars, finally saw the truth. Humanity's dreadnoughts weren't just machines of war. They were symbols of a species forged in the fires of survival. Humanity had always been on the edge of extinction, facing one peril after another on their own world. From ancient wars fought with iron and blood to battles in the age of machines and then beyond, they had always found ways to survive. The generals saw humanity's history as a string of near catastrophes, each one more dire than the last. Natural disasters, resource scarcity, ideological conflicts, humanity had emerged from each stronger, more unified, and more prepared. They had developed an unmatched resilience, born from the knowledge that survival was never guaranteed. As alien warships continued to fall, fragments of intercepted human transmissions reached the alien command bridge, revealing phrases that resonated with conviction. Every captain and pilot knew why they fought, and it wasn't just for survival. They fought with memories of ancestors who had struggled through adversity, of a world that had nearly torn itself apart countless times only to rebuild, each time stronger and more focused. Their ancestors' sacrifices had become humanity's foundation, and now, Those same sacrifices drove them forward, defiant against even the greatest armada in the galaxy. The Dreadnoughts, these shadow giants of steel and fury, were the ultimate expression of humanity's journey. Each ship's frame and hull had been built with a singular purpose: to shield Earth from annihilation. These ships weren't meant to conquer, they were humanity's answer to the darkness that lay beyond the stars. It became clear that humanity hadn't created these warships out of ambition but out of necessity. They were the product of countless years of preparation, crafted by minds determined that their world would never be vulnerable to another's might. The alien general saw now that Earth was unlike any other conquest. Every part of humanity's defense, from the dreadnoughts to the smallest fighter, carried the weight of human history. Their tactics, their sacrifice, their unbreakable will were part of a spirit that was, perhaps, even more formidable than the ships themselves. With each volley fired, humanity's past whispered through the void, a testament to a species that had embraced struggle and turned it into strength. The final push began. Human forces, battered yet undaunted, rallied together, and a call to arms echoed among them. They fought not for conquest, not even for victory, but for survival, for the legacy of Earth. In every barrage, every maneuver, and every sacrifice, the Armada saw that humanity was more than its machines, more than its tactics. They were a force tempered by hardship, driven by a deep, unyielding resolve to protect their home. And as the dreadnoughts surged forward, cutting through the last of the Armada's defenses, one truth became clear to the invaders: humanity would not break. No matter how powerful the opponent, they would fight to the very end, fueled by the memories of all they had endured, determined to prove that Earth was a world worth saving. The final push began with an intensity that left the alien forces scrambling to hold their positions. Humanity's dreadnoughts pressed forward, breaking through the last remnants of the Armada's defenses. Alien cruisers fell back, weapons spent, unable to withstand the relentless barrage. The dreadnoughts moved with unstoppable momentum, each blast from their cannons punctuating the undeniable fact that the battle was over. As the last line broke, alien ships began their retreat, retreating under the firepower they had never anticipated. Human forces pursued them just far enough to drive home their victory, watching as the Armada's once proud warships vanished into the depths of space, defeated. On board one of the lead alien ships, a commander watched the destruction of his fleet in silence. He could hardly believe that Earth, a world he'd once dismissed as inconsequential, had unleashed such power. He spoke quietly to those who remained around him, vowing that never again would they underestimate humanity. Other commanders who had survived began to relay the same sentiment, acknowledging Earth's resilience and ingenuity. This battle, they knew, would echo through the galaxies as a lesson and a warning. Humanity had shown them that even the most advanced armadas could be humbled by a species with the will to survive. As the Galactic Armada faded from the Sol system, the dreadnoughts and surviving human ships regrouped. Cheers erupted on the bridge of each vessel as they realized the impossible had been achieved. Crews celebrated, some laughing, others shedding tears. For many, it was a victory laced with the memory of the sacrifices that had made it possible. Across the fleet, there was relief, but also a solemn understanding of the cost. Pilots and commanders, bruised and weary, exchanged quiet glances, knowing they had fought not just to defend Earth but to secure its place in the galaxy. On Earth, citizens watched as the news spread: humanity had prevailed. The scars of battle, ships lost, lives sacrificed, would be remembered, each one a testament to the tenacity that had saved them. Messages from across the planet poured in, celebrating the bravery of those who had taken to the stars, paying tribute to the souls who had given their lives for the cause. Humanity was bruised but unbroken, unified by a common pride and a renewed sense of purpose. As the galaxy turned its attention to Earth, the implications of the battle rippled outward. The Galactic Alliance, long established and seemingly unshakable, now knew Earth's name. Humanity had proven itself not only as a survivor but as a force to be reckoned with. Alien species across the stars shared whispers of Earth, of a species that would not submit, of a world that had defied the greatest armada in known space. Earth was no longer an overlooked outpost at the edge of the galaxy. It was a symbol of hope for the oppressed and a warning to any who would challenge them again. And as the Dreadnoughts returned home, the crews looked toward the future. They knew that Earth had made its mark, and that from this day forward, they would stand as both a beacon and a reminder. Humanity's name would travel far and wide, carried on the stories of those who had witnessed their triumph. For Earth had earned its place among the stars, not through conquest, but through unbreakable resolve, ensuring that all would remember the battle where humanity had shown what it truly meant to fight for survival.